Hey, what's good, guys? I'm Ragujan. So we are on the question set 35. So previously on the question set 34, we have entered data to the user table, address table, and user type, and login system, and city, and these are here. So now we had to enter for the now we had to enter data to the brand table. So it is the first one, and product table, GRN table, GRN item, stock table, invoice table, and invoice item. So that's how it goes. So let's get into this. So first one, the brand table. So you guys can see there are 4 brands to enter: DSI, Bata, Nike, and Puma. Okay, so let's go. Like I said earlier, we had to say insert into, and we had to mention table. Earlier shoe center is a database. Now we have to mention the table, the brand. Okay, now let's take a look at the brand table first and foremost. So this is the one. So brand ID and the brand name. So the brand ID's default value is auto increment, and we only have to enter data to the brand name. So that's what I'm gonna do now. So I'm going to mention the column, in this case brand tables brand name, and now we have to enter the values. So only one value, it's going to be what's that, DSI is the first one. So let's go DSI. Okay, so I'm going to enter the next one, the next brand name. So same method, same format, brand name, values. Second one, Bata. Okay, Bata. The next one, insert into earlier shoe center dot brand table, and brand table's brand name is what we are going to enter, and the value is going to be, in this case the value is going to be Nike Cherry. Insert into earlier shoe centers brand table, and brand tables brand name. And last one, I guess, what is that? Puma. Okay, Puma is the last one. Okay, now we can execute this query, and let's go. Okay, we have had an error. Can I run this query? I can. Now we have to restart this application, so that's what I'm going to do now. Okay, hopefully fortunately the queries has been executed. So yeah, so that's the answer for the question 1. So we can go, what is this? Okay, now we can move on to the second one. It is the product table. So let's take a look what's inside the product table: the product name, product description, brand ID, and the product ID. And the product ID is eventually the default value is going to be auto increment, so we don't have to worry about product ID. So we can talk about the product name. Okay, so let's enter details to the product table. data to the product test. So that's what I'm going to do now. So I'm going to say insert into hourly issue centers, hourly issue centers, okay, issue centers product, and we have to mention what are we gonna, which the columns that we are going to enter. In this case, the product name and product description and the brand ID. So let's go and product description and product dot brand ID. And now I have to mix the values. So the value, the first one, before doing entering the data, let's write these queries. How many rows we have? We have 5 rows. So now I have 2 rows. I wrote queries for two rows, so I had to go for another 3. I'm going to pause this video right now, and I'll continue after the 5th one. Okay, so now we had to enter data. So that's what I'm going to do now. So the first one, Sparks main is product name and the product description and the brand. Okay, now the second one, barter config and the description here, and the brand is number 2. And the next one, Nike waffle 1, and the color shown twist, something like that. And after that, the next one, waves jeans slipper. Okay, and let's take a look at this description here. As you can see, doesn't make any sense. Makes sense to the company owners basically. And the next one, the final one, M Roma Italy sneakers. And the next, the description, Scarlet color Puma, and the user ID, sorry, the brand ID, it's going to be 4. Let's execute this query. Okay, we entered data to the product table. Now we can move on to the grn1. So here the grn1, there are um, four rows, 1 2 3 4, and the grn item table has 1 2 3 4 5 6. Okay, let's move on to the grn1. So that's what I'm gonna do now. Insert into grn. let's mention the let's mention the database also. Insert into RLESU centers grn, and we had to mention the columns. So let's take a look at our grn table. So there are grn date and user ID, so that's what we have. So I'm going to say grn tables grn date and grn tables user ID, and now you have to mention the values. So that's how it goes. Let's put the value in a new row, new line, so it would be more easier to understand and easy to code. I mean, easy to read, easy to enter. Okay, the user ID is 4. And the next one, insert into RDSU centers grn table Okay, now we have entered data. We have an error. I have said user ID twice. And what is that? Okay, here you guys can see I used user ID twice. It should be grn date. Let's take a look. Okay, the problem is I executed this query twice, so I had to delete these last three. Oh, I can let's take a look. 11, 32, 16, and this has to be this is the wrong one, so I'm going to delete these three. Okay, okay, so we can change the grn ID. So yeah, that's pretty much for the grn table. Now we can move on to the grn item table. So yeah, that's what I'm going to do now. Okay, so let's go to the GRN item to enter data. So insert into RLA issue center database GRN item. Um, what are the rows we have? GRN item dot, we have unit price. GRN items, what we have selling price. Also we have GRN items, GRN ID. It means GRN ID and GRN items product ID. Also we have GRN items stock ID. So how many rows in this how many columns in the GRN item table? 1 2 3 4 5 6. 1 2 3 4 5. We have 5. Let's take a look at our question. So GRN ID, we didn't enter the quantity. So yeah, just can see here. That's what I'm gonna do now. I'm gonna enter the quantity in the last place. GRN.qty. Okay, I have to rearrange the order so it would be more easier. GRN ID, product ID. So the first one GRN ID and the second one product ID. GRN ID would be auto increment, so we don't have to worry. So let's take the product ID to the first place. So it would be the first one, and the next is GRN ID, and the quantity is the second one. So let's get quantity. Okay, and the third one, it is unit price. Okay, it's in the place. Okay, and selling price is the next one. It's also cool. And next one, stock item is that one. Selling price and stock ID. Okay, you don't need the GRN ID, I guess. GRN ID, product ID, quantity, unit price, selling price, and stock ID. What do we have here? Yeah, the GRN ID has to be the um, it has to be the primary key. So we can change it on the database here. No, we don't have to change these one. So you guys can see this is this going to be the this is from the GRN table. So this is what we are going to use as the GRN ID. Okay, that's nice. So we don't have to worry about this one. So let me get back the GRN ID, and I have to place the GRN ID in the first place, first one. So GRN ID, okay, the product ID and the quantity and the GRN unit price, and URN selling price and stock ID. And I have to remove this commas. Okay, so now I have to give the values. That's what I'm gonna do now. how many I have? One, two, three, four, five, six. So I had six values. I have one, two, three, four, five. So I had to give another. So yeah. So what I'm gonna do now is I'll pause the video right here and I'll continue when I enter these values. Okay, cool. So I successfully wrote these queries. So now we can enter these data. Now we can enter these data. 375, 420, and 3. The next one, GR ID is going to be 4, and the product ID is going to be 3, and the product quantity is 45, the unit price 500, and selling price 600, and what else? The next one, the fourth one. Sorry, the stock ID is going to be 4, and after that the final one, I guess. Yeah, it is the final one. 5535. Let's enter only 5535, and unit price and the selling price. What's the next one? Stock ID is going to be 5. So let's execute these queries. Hopefully, okay, we have errors. Yeah, this problem occurs because of I didn't enter any values in the stock table. So we had to enter data before enter we had to enter data to the stock table before entering data to the GRN item. So let's do that real quick. So I'm going to comment this query, make this as a comment so we can come back later. So let's enter data to the stock table, insert into RLE Shoe Centers stock table, and after that we have to mention the stock tables columns. Let's take a look what we have in stock table. Stock ID, quantity, we have stock tables. What we have quantity, we have selling price, and stock tables dot brand, stock table dot category, we have stock tables as we have product. Okay, we have enter the values. Let's take a look at our question. So we only have quantity, selling price, and stock ID in the stock table. So yeah, stock ID, quantity, and selling price. So I got wrong. I got wrong suggestions. So that's what happened. So okay. So selling price, we have selling price, we have stock ID and stock quantity. So that's all what we need. And I'm going to change the order. Okay, so that's pretty much. Now we can enter data. How many rows we have? We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we have 5 rows. And I'm going to post this right here. I'm going to post the recording, and I'll see you when I enter these queries 5 times. Okay, so the selling price is the first one. So let's go to the selling price 400, and the quantity it is 20, and the second one 350, quantity is going to be 30, and the selling price for the third one 300, the quantity is 40, and selling price 300, and quantity 31, and selling price 1650, the quantity 35. So that's how it goes. Let's enter and let's execute this query. Okay, let's refresh. Okay, fortunately I have entered data successfully. Okay, that's cool. Now we can move to the previous one, the GR and items table. Let's execute this query again. Okay, we have again the same problem. What would be the error? What is the problem? Yeah, I have entered data. So you guys can see, so I only have, let's take a look at our question so we can get to understand, we understand what we have, what is the problem. So 113, so I'm going to delete this one. So we had to enter the third one, and we had to enter fourth and the fifth one. So we have to enter the fifth and fourth one. So this 1, 2, 3. So 3, and let's execute this query. Okay, we have a problem. Okay, so I finally figured it out. It was just a syntax error, I guess. So we have entered uh, data to the GRN table, GRN item table, and now we have to enter details to the invoice item table. So let's enter. So let's delete everything. Now we have to say insert into hourly issue centers invoice table, invoice item, and after that we have to mention. So let's take a look at invoice item table, and it doesn't have anything. There is an invoice item ID, there is a quantity, there's a column for quantity, column for invoice ID, and stock ID. So that's how it goes. So let's take a look at our questions data, invoice ID, quantity, and so that's how it goes along. So first one, it's going to be the invoice ID. So invoice item tables invoice ID, sorry, invoice ID, not invoice, this one. And the next one, invoice table items stock ID. This one, and after that stock ID, and finally the quantity. And now you have to enter the values. Okay, so so we have 4 columns, 4 rows, I guess. No, we have 1 2 3 4 5, 1 2 3 4 5. So there are 5 rows. So I'm gonna pause the recording right here, and I'll start the recording after I wrote these 5 queries. Yeah, okay, cool. So now we can enter data. The first one, 1 1 10. So 1 1 10. The next one, 1 1 2, 1 1 2. And the third one, 2 2 4, 2 2 4. And the fourth one, 3 3 6. And the fifth one, 4 3 2. And if I execute this query, okay, we have an error. Yeah, so the error because of I didn't enter anything to the I didn't enter anything to the invoice table. Also, I guess I didn't enter anything for okay, I had to enter something for the invoice table. So uh, let's add data before uh, inserting data to the invoice item table. So let's start with invoice insert into earlier shoe centers invoice table, and after that we can see what's inside. We have to mention the columns. So invoice tables date and invoice tables user ID. So that's what we are going to fill up, and save the values. And I had to do this for 3 times. So I'm gonna post this, and I'll come back after writing 3 times. So yeah, okay. So now we have to enter data. So the first one, invoice date, and the user ID, and in this case this is the date. Also the user ID is number 3. let's take a look at our database now. Okay, we have successfully entered data to the the invoice table. Now we can now we can enter data to our invoice table. So before, let me clear this comment box. So let's execute this query. Hopefully we have an error. Okay, what's the error? Invoice item, invoice in field, there is a slight mistake. And now let's execute this. Okay, it's here you guys can see that it was the error mistake. And again, let's execute now. I think we have already. Okay, so this so we have entered data multiple times, so now we have to figure it out. 102462 was the quantity, so 102462, 102462. So what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna delete all these ones, and this one also. Okay, so this one, and now I'm going to rename, not rename, I'm going to give new values, 4 5. Okay, cool. So I guess that's pretty much for this video. uh, I'll see you in the next video. Thank you for watching.